because this is a cake that we have to put in the oven again. And you start by making a layer of cake. And now you could make 3 or 4 layers, whatever you would like. I think I'll make 3. And you want to make sure that you're doing this on a non-stick pan if you have it to go in the oven. So let me make my cake layer, my first cake layer, and you can see how delicate a cake this is. Here we have a vanilla pudding, and all that is milk and sugar and cornstarch to thicken, egg yolks, and some vanilla. And we cooked that until it was nice and thick, and we had a pudding something like this. Now this is just part of it because we also have to have egg whites, so I want to get those going. So over here in my mixer, I'm going to add 6 egg whites to my bowl. And I like to do this in a copper bowl, so if you have a copper bowl, start with a copper bowl because the whites like the copper ions and hold the egg whites much better. So now we start to beat these. And again, we're going to be adding a little bit of whiskey. So about, a tablespoon of whiskey goes in. I'm going to let those go now and come back over here and start to fill my cake. So here's my pudding. And then it's simply making a layer of pudding over the cake. But the trick is not to overbeat the meringue. And a cake like this, you can actually put together a few days ahead of time. Now there's a piece that isn't just quite perfect, but that's okay because you can always patch. So now we get more whiskey, and you don't want too much whiskey. That's why a spritzer bottle is great to use because it gives a nice even coating. And now we put on the second layer of the vanilla pudding. See how beautiful this goes together? And I was saying that this was a cake that we always had for special occasions, and the reason was that this cake could serve a lot of people. It's so rich that you really only need a little bit of it. So let me stop there, go back and check what we're doing here with egg whites. Okay, we're starting to get a little foamy now. So now I want to begin to add my sugar. So I add the sugar, about a half a cup of sugar, just a little bit at a time on high speed. So in it goes. My mother would be really proud of me now to see me making this. Put all the sugar in. You really want to make sure that that sugar is well dissolved. And then have ready some cornstarch, about 1½ teaspoons of cornstarch that you've heated up in about 1/4 cup of water, and let that cook until it looks like this. Now when those egg whites are where I want them, then I'll start to add that cornstarch mixture. But while that's doing that, you and I have to put this together. So now comes the next layer of cake. So let's see where we are. It's looking good. I'm going to stop it now. And you see, when your egg whites are just at a nice peaky stage, they just hold their peaks, but they're not over whipped, then you can take them out. So now we're going to take this over, and our oven is on at 325 degrees. Now, I'm going to take a big wad of that and just put it right over the top of the cake and spread this, and then I'll get the sides, because it's very, very important to make sure that you cover this entire cake in the meringue. You don't want any air to get in this. There. Now we are ready to put this in the oven. So remember, your oven is on at 325 degrees. You're going to have to watch this very, very carefully. How's it look? Good? Okay, it's ready to go. So in the oven